Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players and Atish Ordo. Today I'm going to be talking about ships of bounty hunters. Now we have confirmation that April is going to be for sure bounty hunters after they've done a lot of different updates and quality of life updates and whatnot between updating Sith Raid rewards, login rewards, etc. So yeah, and unfortunately we have yet. This is April 17th, and we have yet to receive the bounty hunter kits yet. I'm sure either between by the end of tonight or sometime tomorrow, we may or may not get them, unless it's saved for the last week of April. Because we're only getting one character. Now, it makes me wonder if we're also getting his ship or not. We'll see if we get Bosk's Houndstooth. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about all the bounty hunters and the ships known to the bounty hunters, as well as there's a couple of bounty hunters yet to come into the game, and so on. So, obviously, the ship you see on screen right now is Slave 1. It's Boba Fett's version of Slave 1. Now, if they ever add Jango Fett, they obviously have got to add the Jango Fett version, the more the blue look to it. Obviously, it's a fire spray class ship, and it's just famously known, especially if you played Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It's Legends, uh, continuity, and in Legends, this is Jango Fett gets the Slave One, and he uses it, and it's awesome. But he also had in Legends, he's also had another ship, which could be a possibility to um, use instead Slave One, because if you look at Jango Fett or Boba Fett Slave One, it's built similarly to Jango Fett, like a kit for Jango Fett. Because Jango Fett really had these seismic charges, never really says much in detail of Boba Fett keeping seismic charges, but then again, canon could actually keep it that way. I do have to do a little more research of it, but a lot of the stuff Boba Fett did to the Slave One was a little different than what Jango did. Of course, as you can tell, the paint scheme is the most common look. But yeah, so that is, Jango Fett Slave One. But Jango Fett did have another ship in Legends. Of course, if Jango Fett does share support with Zam Wazell or like any synergy support, then this Slave One would be the more common one, especially coming from Legends for Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which I would like to see some more Bounty Hunter games similar to that. I think it'd be awesome. But he also had another ship called the Jaster's Legacy. This is a ship he used until it was blown up on the mining prison of Uvu 4. I'm sorry, the asteroid prison of Uvu 4, which also had pod racing circuits on it too. But it's the amphibious interstellar assault transport for infantry, and it's called Jaster's Legacy. So it's a very possibility. It would give us a total different ship for Jango Fett. But of course, a lot of fans would want to see the Slave One. But Jaster's Legacy is a possibility. It could be a really tanky ship for scoundrels. It just fills that bulk tankiness. Of course, look at how big those engines are. It's really cool. The next ship is the Houndstooth. It's a YV. It's from Corellian Engineering, but it's a YV666 light freighter. I don't know what. Yeah, developers of the ship, named it that. But we're getting Bosk in the game for sure. Will we get Houndstooth this month? As a light nod, we get another marquee event with Bosk and his Houndstooth. I would like that, but so far we know for a fact Bosk is coming to the game. We don't have any mention of like Forlum and Zukas coming to the game, because that would be the original trilogy bounty hunters, being Boba Fett, IG-88, Dengar, Bosk, and then Forlum and Zuckuss. So will we get those characters in the game? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see for sure. The next one is the Mist Hunter of Forlum and Zuckuss. So if we do get Forlum and Zuckuss, hopefully we will get this ship for them. I will say this though, Forlum and Zuckuss, whenever they decide to bring I feel like, first off, I feel like they're going to have another month of bounty hunters because 2 bounty hunters are being skipped on a rework, and that is Cad Bane and Zamrazel. They're not getting reworks this month from what developers said. They chose not to rework them because they only want to do original trilogy bounty hunters at this time. So unfortunately, we don't get, those two. However, I feel like they're going to need another 2 months for bounty hunters. 1 month for new bounty hunters of the. Well, first we got to have a month for that month for Zuckuss and Forlum. We'd have to rework the two Cad Bane and Zam. We also have to um, bring in like Embo and a few other bounty hunters tied to the prequel trilogy, like Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace. Well, not really Phantom Menace, but Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and the Clone Wars animated TV series. So we got Ambo. That's a really good possibility to come in. We have Aura Singh. So we'll see if we get those. But I feel like after this month is a small month for bounty hunters, but we're getting, a good 5 reworks. We're getting what is it? 5 Boba, IG-88, Dengar, Greedo, and then we're getting Bosk. So we got 5 bounty hunters there, and I'm sure they'll synergize in one way or another. But we still need Forlum and Zuckuss for original trilogy, and like I said before, the reworks. Plus, we gotta get Jango Fett. And I still feel like to this day, I say it in all my bounty hunter videos when I talk about Jango Fett, he should be a legendary character, and you need bounty hunters to unlock him, not scoundrels, bounty hunters. But going back to it though, I feel like this month is just a small month. I'm hoping that we get another 2 months, 1 to 2 months of bounty hunters in this next 6 to 12 months, because like I said, we need all those characters, but we need their ships too. So, getting a month of just, bounty hunter ships added to the game would just be phenomenal. Maybe will they update the current slave one or adding a new slave one, plus adding the ships in this list that I'm doing. So, but again, the Mist Hunter is a G1A starfighter. Of course, all the bounty hunter ships are always modified. So keep that in mind. They're all modified to the personal user. And of course, this is the ship for Zuckuss and Forlum. So will we get that, or Forlom? We'll get that. We'll see. Then this is the Xandu Blood, the Rogue class starfighter. It is for Cad Bane, if you recognize it from, all the different missions he did with, what's his name, Palpatine. He actually got a ship from, or it was Darth Sidious, really, was who he's working for. Not Sidious Palpatine, they're the same thing. But it is a starfighter for him to do his bounty hunting. So yeah. Will we get this one? This one is actually, if I remember right, this one is actually in the background data of the game itself for when they were planning to bring starfighters into the game at the beginning. But unfortunately, they did not get it out, so we'll wait and see if that ever happens. The IG-2000 is Aggressor Assault Starfighter. It is for IG-88, hence the name. IG-88 wasn't really planning on having a more complex, more unique name. They just said IG-2000. It is IG-2000. I don't know. But, this is another ship that can be easily added into the game. It's a ship for IG-88. He's already in the game. So having IG-2000 added to the game would, adds a new ship for us to work with. And then, of course, finally, the Punishing One. The Punishing One is a unique ship in and of itself. It's Dengar's ship. It's way different. It's a Jump Master 5000. That's so weird. It's a cool and interesting name for the type of freighter. It's a Jump Master. It jumps and it's a master. Of course, we are getting Dengar to get a leadership ability in this game, so that's always unique. So, but yeah, talking about it though, these are the 6 starfighters. Well, 5 starfighters, I should say. Or no, 6. Counting the new slave one, the Jango Fett slave one. Will we get these ships into the game? Will we not? Who knows? Again, I highly doubt they ever touched this one, but I wanted to mention it because Jango Fett did use it, at least in Legends. I hope they kind of bring some of that back in canon, because I feel like all they have to do really it's very simple is canonize Star Wars Bounty Hunter game, and they've simplified a lot of just a lot of turning things from Legends to canon. It's just easy to just pull it over. They've been pulling a lot of stuff over, but changing it up a bit. And some things I don't see a problem with them pulling over and keeping it. Like Jango Fett being a Mandalorian, he became Mandalore, but they like throwing, with all the female controversial stuff in 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 real life. Having female leaders, I understand it's good to have female leaders. I don't have doubt it. There are some businesses that female leaders are literally more dominant than male leaders. That makes sense. It just happens because sometimes men just get lazy. Yeah, sometimes. But with the female leadership stuff going on, that's why they really super retconned, Mandalorians, because now it seems like almost a lot of the leaders outside of, maybe Gar Saxon, Tiber Saxon, and Tar Vizsla, and maybe the first Mandalorian Jedi, they're all male. The rest, then we got Sabine, we got Bo-Katan, and uh, Bo's sister. I forget her name, something crazy. But anyways, they're female leaders, and I don't know. I don't get me wrong. I don't doubt that Mandalorians have had a female Mandalore before, but I don't know. Changing that, just yeah, I don't know. All I know is this is definitely another topic for another video at another time, talking about just the canon life of Mandalorians and all that. So, but going back to it though, if they added a ship, that'd be surprising, but undoubtedly this is the ship they'll add, which, I'm definitely okay for. I have no problem with it, but I feel like it'd be kind of unique to add this ship. Or maybe a first time, forever that they decide to add two ships for Jango Fett, except Jango Fett can only use either the Slave One or the Jaster's Legacy as a one-time thing. So if you have you select Jaster's Legacy, it permanently locks out from you selecting Jango Fett Slave 1. Unless there's an event, But even then, I don't see that. So it just changes up Jango Fett. Of course, this Slave 1, I could easily see Jango and Zamwazel sharing together, while this ship is just, Jango Fett's ship. The end. So, but yeah, that is my thoughts on and hopes for ships for bounty hunters. So stay tuned this week. I'm sure in the next, 3 to 6 days, we'll get the kits revealed for Bosk and the reworks for the original trilogy bounty hunters, being Boba Fett, IG-88, Greedo, Dengar, and yeah, we'll hope to see bounty hunters hit in soon. So I do want to show something really quick that someone else showed. So hold on a sec. So what I want to show you is what's been shown before. Some of you have seen it, some of you haven't. I just want to show it just to show it, which it makes sense because of how this character has been in Star Wars: The Old Republic. But let's look at bounty hunters for a second. You see 6 bounty hunters. So what? You're like, so what? They're just 6 bounty hunters. Cool. Now, this is added in the, this is an interesting thing here. So I put in bounty. Bounty. Done. Who else is in there now? HK47. So I believe it was like Arnold T or Mobile Gamer. I think one of them did a video on this, and they're showing this off. Like you type in bounty, you type in bounty hunter. I wonder if you could just type in hunter. Hunter. Okay. Yeah, it still pops up. But HK47 is in this, area. So will HK get a rework in the near future, or maybe we'll get a surprise rework for HK, and he'll work and he'll have the tag of bounty hunter. I don't see anything wrong with that. If you give us another droid bounty hunter, and if they decide to, out of the 4 reworks, they add bounty hunter to HK47, and they just give him a complete reworks to synergize with bounty hunters and droids, You know, it'd be kind of cool to see his leadership work with bounty hunters and droids. Of course, I will say his leadership, you know, we'll say droids and bounty hunters will get, you know, or maybe he'll just synergize only with droids, but still work on a bounty hunter team. But if they ever put because bounty hunters are typically assassins as well, so they kind of all link together. Assassins, rogues, bounty hunters, ninjas, etc., etc. I'm just going as the generality of different franchises when I said ninjas and stuff. But it could have it to where droids and bounty hunters get this bonus, gain 50% turn meter on a critical hit. I will say the only downside, the one thing they would change to that is making it so that it's just the first time, just like what they did rework with Newt Gunray's leadership with being stealthed and gaining turn meter. So they'll probably word it that way to where it's just the first time they gain 50% turn meter. The first, you know, so like Boba Fett's bonus attack or Cad Bane's bonus attack won't trigger. So, but will we see that change? I don't know. We'll see what happens with HK. I feel like, you know, a small light rework of HK would not hurt anything. It's going to support droids. It might actually make droids viable in the meta. I would be excited to see, you know, HK with IG-88s, you know, B2 or Imperial Probe Droid and R2 and Chopper, and because Chopper's really starting to, you know, make its way in on random droid teams under like a Jedi Training Ray or Akbar, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But for the most part, yeah, HK is in this as a, you know, a tag. So we'll see what happens if they decide to add him as a bounty hunter. He kind of was. He's more of an assassin, but you know, I don't see them ever adding the assassin tag. It just wouldn't make sense. It feels like it would just link to bounty hunters. So that's why I see HK being a bounty hunter, getting the bounty hunter tag. And in worst case, they'll just add him as a bounty hunter in general. So we'll see what happens. But again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate all those watching the videos. I've had a crazy busy time, and things are going to start freeing up at the end of next week. I'm going to be me and my wife are planning on moving down to another city that's like an hour away, and right now she's been working down there, so I haven't had time. I wake up, and as soon as she goes to work, I'm watching kids, so it's hard to record with kids. So it's been a while. I'm still working on things to make it easier, so definitely stay tuned for that. But I'm really excited about that and excited about moving to a new city. It's always nice. But again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. All those watching the video, and you guys have a wonderful day.